Hello, and today we'll be playing Under the Full Bright Moon. So, this is the newest update that came out on the 1st of this month. So, this continues. Well, actually, this is chapter 1. Maybe the first one was like the demo, but this is chapter 1 we're about to start now. Right, right. Thank you for going to all this trouble. Of course, but you will let me examine him when he gets back. Just promise me you won't sit on him or anything until then. Just stuff it, will ya? Hawk chortles at that. It seems he's a pro at getting the last word. We step clear of the cottage, and I look back. Goodbye, Hawk. Take care, Phoenix. May the moon guide you to your destined fate. I feel a chill go up my spine at those words, and I don't know why. Even though Hawk is giving a friendly smile, there's something about it that makes me feel cold, even with the sunlight on my face. I look away quickly, scratching my head. He hadn't said or done anything problematic, so why do I feel so shaken? It takes a moment for my breathing to steady, Bowers and I staring in earnest down the path. A sense of dread settles on me, and my mind is pulled back to the past, my past. And I am stuck with the possibility that all of it, my world, my life, my everything, was gone. Chapter 1, Part 2, The Right Night. I guess the demo was like Chapter 1, Part 1. We walk in silence for a long moment, my mind heavy with the lingering sensations and realizations of how permanent my situation may have just become. It isn't until I notice that we're moving away from the Wolfsire that my brain catches up to the here and now. Wait, aren't we heading into town? We are. But isn't it behind us? The wolf glances back towards the Wolfsire, then shakes his head. The sire doesn't have any clothing to sell. Everything there is custom made for werewolves and takes days to tailor. Plus, all our pants come with tear holes, so unless you feel like having your arse crack out, I don't recommend them. We're headed to the human town, Crowan. It's just under 5 miles northeast of here. 5 miles? The wolf gives me a bit of an incredulous look over his shoulder. That's a problem. I want to let him know that it kinda sorta is a problem. I can't remember the last time I walked 10 miles a day, and that's without the bruised ribcage. It's a little more than I'm used to. The wolf grunts. And again we're silent for a moment. If it proves too much, I can just carry you. How's that sound? There's a bit of a teasing tone to his voice, so I just tease back. Well, if the great Sir Bowers is offering, I wouldn't refuse his chivalry. I can hear the big wolf snort. We'll see. For now, your legs seem to be holding up just fine. We continue on in relative silence, and I just try to enjoy the sounds of nature all around me. 10 minutes in, however, Bowers takes a sudden right off the path, heading straight into the depths of the forest. Let's head this way. It's a little rougher, but still cut a mile off the trip. I hesitate a moment, then take a deep breath to steel myself following. We weave our way through the underbrush and between the trees this way and that. Betwixt the trees this and that. I can't find any kind of marker to let me know where we're going, but Bowers moves with absolute confidence as if following a clearly defined path. Now and again, I look up at the sky between the forest canopy, watching the branches sway this way and that. It's not long before I can't even tell which way we came from, nor where I am, and yet the wolf maintains his short and steady pace. A momentary sense of disorientation hits me, and I realize that I'm in a strange place with someone who is still ultimately a total stranger. And then I realize it's just me and him out here, no hawk to keep him in check, no villagers to see anything. A prickle of fear travels up the back of my neck as I finally realize I'm completely at this wolf's mercy. A wolf who has no reason to trust me. Part of me considers running, but we've made so many twists and turns that I don't even know which way I go. So I follow. We reach a very small clearing, and Bowers comes to a halt, looking down at a flat rock. He doesn't say anything for a long moment, clearly thinking. The silence between us feels almost oppressive. Phoenix. Yeah. A cough as my voice catches, cracking with worry. Yes? I'm going to ask you a question. I want an honest answer. I can feel that prickle again, okay? Oh, you're a good person. I open my mouth to respond, but the question itself throws me off. I stand there in silence, processing it, before trying my best to give an honest answer. I don't think I am. I've been selfish. I've hurt those I cared about without meaning to. I've run away from my problems and acted like I have it worse than everyone else, when I know that's not true. But I wanted to be a good person. I've always wanted to, since before I can remember. Bowers' eyes meet mine. It is like I can feel his gaze boring into my soul. I see. Another long silence. Phoenix, do I frighten you? I swallow. When you ask a question like that, kind of. The wolf heaves and sigh. The wolf heaves a sigh and nods. There. He shakes his head. Do you understand that I would do anything to keep those close to me safe? Yes, I do. Then there's a selfless request I will ask of you. The wolf looks up at the canopy itself in thought. Will you be willing to stay with us for the time being and help keep the wolf sire safe? What, me? Yes, you. But why me? The wolf scoffs. Please at least try to not take me for a full kid. You appeared in our lands, dressed like that, bearing strange trinkets, and practically coated in strange scents. You expect me to take nothing of it? I grimace inwardly. This wolf had me figured out from the start. When you've been around as long as I have, you learn to pay very close attention to strange happenings. He half smirks at me. And you are very strange. Hey, I feel the tension in the air let up a bit and can't help but smirk back. So, will you stay? I can't say why, but my gut is telling me that it will be important for you to be here. Well, it is a bit gut. Bowers stomps it proudly. Hasn't steered me wrong yet. I again consider my options. I still don't know where I am, but I'm starting to realize that I'm probably farther from home than I've ever been. And while I know that human civilization is close, some part of me tells me that Bowers is right, and that leaving the wolf side just feels like I'd be running away. Again. Alright, I'll stay. Bowers lets out a heavy sigh, smiling. Oh, thank money. The wolf's tail wags openly at that, and the tension of the moment disappears. That said, I will bring you out here for a reason. Hold on. The wolf kneels down in front of the big, flat rock, getting his fingers under it, and sliding away, revealing a little stone hole. He reaches in and withdraws a full set of clothing, which includes a leather belt with a small knife and a scabbard, all which he offers to me. I accept them, appreciative but confused. Thank you. Do you usually bury clothing? The wolf gives me a bit of a sad smile. Ah, well, it's a common practice for our kind to bury some of our old belongings when we are turned into werewolves. It's sort of a funeral for our old lives. Those are my old clothes from back when I was human, and now they are yours, though they might be a bit big for you. I look down at what I'm holding and can't help but feel a little bit of reverence for it. Again, thank you, but this feels kind of special. Why didn't we just go to Kevin for an outfit? Simple, because you showed up. And when you get as old as me, you also learn that strange things almost always come while heaping help of trouble. And so I prefer to keep close to the side for now. That's all weirdly makes sense. The wolf turns his back to me, folding his arms. Alright, go ahead and change. What, out here in the woods? I ain't exactly looking, and neither is anything that matters. I look around, he's right, it's just him and the trees. Even if a deer came by, it's not like it would care. Fine. Quick as I can, I change out my tattered set of clothing into Bowers's. There's a musty smell that clings to them, but still they're clean and in good condition. Mine, they're way too big for me. I have to roll the pants legs up a bit, as well as cinch the belt as tight as it can go, but it works. Though the big shirt's surprisingly comfortable to move in, it feels like a shirt I'd sleep in. I move my keychain and phone to the new pants. Just looking at them puts a feeling of unease in my mind. Alright, how do I look? The wolf turns back around and gives me an appraising look. Huh? I didn't realize I used to be that big. I didn't realize I used to be that much bigger than you. Still, they suit you. We'll get the pants hemmed for you, though. I look down myself, then just at the knife. You sure I need this? What, a knife? Bowers considered me again, then shakes his head. Everyone needs a sharp knife, kiddo. Now, if you're all set, let's head back to the village. I'm not keen on leaving it unattended. Yes, sir. Old clothes tucked under my arm, we make our way back through the woods. We move in silence again, and as we walk, I can't stop thinking about what I'm wearing. He gave me his last set of clothing. He trusts me. Hey, Bowers? Yes, I'm ready to tell you about me. The wolf's pace slows, and he looks over his shoulder. You, sir, like I said, as a visitor to the sire, you don't have to share anything you don't want to. No, I want to share this. Bowers nods, turning back to the trees and listening as we walk. I don't actually know where I am. I explain. I know where I came from. I came from a place where there are no werewolves, no magic, a place with cars and phones and airplanes. Do you know what any of those things are? Bowers comes to an unsteady stop, put in paw to a nearby tree and lowers his head. Mine give me strength. I struck away, worrying I may have said too much, but Bowers just keeps standing there. What is an airplane? It's a giant piece of flying material that can move hundreds of people thousands of miles. The wolf raises his head, shaking it yet again, then clenches his fingers into a fist and half-heartedly pounds against the side of the tree. He takes a long, steadying breath, then continues walking. Please don't tell anyone else about that just yet, especially Hawk. If he learns you're from another world, he'll never shut up about it. A heavy sense of dread weighs down on me, so it's true. I'm about as far from home as I could ever get. Why should I tell Hawk? Because then he'll think you're a bloody champion and will insist on trying you first chance he gets. And I think someone who's traveled as far as you should take as much time as they can to just rest. I give a bit of a tired laugh. Thanks. So, whatever you choose to do with your life, stay here or go back. Just know we're here to help, alright? Again, thank you. I have a million questions about your world, but I don't think I'm ready to hear the answers yet. You know what? Same. The wolf gives a single heavy, sardonic laugh at that. We make our way back out of the forest, back onto the path, and just a few hundred yards short of Bowers' house, the wolf comes to a stop. Told you, when it rains, it pours. Look down the path and I can see two other humans, a man and a woman, talking animatedly among themselves. The woman looks our way and raises an arm, yelling something that I can't make out. The wolf raises and raises an arm back. What does he say? Sounds like he said, Bowers, is that you? We start closing the distance between us. The other two hurrying our way, wearing rather urgent expressions. Looks like something's happened. That's Marwa and Sal. I'd introduce you properly, but I don't think we'll have the chance. Sal reaches us first, looking a bit out of breath. Bowers. There you are. It's awful. Alright, calm down. What's happened? Attacks just outside Corin. They're saying it was a werewolf. Bowers' expression immediately darkens, the wolf rising on the back of his neck. He clenches his eyes shut and proceeds to take a deep, almost terrifyingly slow breath. The damage. Sal shakes his head, Marwa looking away. A whole family traveling by coach. 2 guards were investigating and only 1 came back. Holy shit. Do they think it was one of ours? Of course they do. Bowers, they're scared and confused. They're going to jump to the worst conclusions. You know it wasn't, though, right? Of course we know that. But they don't. We want to try and reason with them. Though, not this soon after an attack. Them? The leaders and guards of Corwin. The townsfolk are bound to be scared and outraged. Now it's not a good time to try to be diplomatic. Myra regards me surely. Who is this? A visitor, but that's not important. You shouldn't be here. Traveling this far outside of town was an enormous risk. Sal looks a bit incredulous. Who else were we going to tell you about the attacks? Safe or no, we didn't really have a choice. Sal, you're not the only one who gets to be a part of this fight, Bowers. We put just as much work as you into trying to get the world to accept your community. Bowers takes a sharp inhale through his nose, holding his paws up defensively. All right. Pardon me, I'm sorry. I'll have to discuss this with the pack first, though. I need to escort you back to Corwin. Can you wait in my house for a little while? Sal looks visibly displeased, clearly holding back his honest thoughts. Please. He scoffs and gives a frustrated shrug. Fine, that will have to do. But we are going to discuss this on the way back to town. I wouldn't have it any other way. Bowers puts a heavy hand to my back, leading me away. I shouldn't be long. Make yourselves comfortable. See you soon. They turn and make their way further down the path, but Bowers just guides me right back into the tall grass and trees. Aren't we taking the path too? We're not going to my house. We're going to Hawks. I need to talk to him, and if we take the main road, every wolf in the side is going to stop us and want to be introduced. Makes sense. I'm starting to realize how much this guy seems to be 2 steps ahead in most of the actions he takes. So, have there been a lot of attacks lately? Yes, up until now, they've only targeted wildlife. We've come across a number of large animal carcasses that have been torn apart. This is the first account of people being hurt. The problem is that there are almost no signs of the animals being eaten, just killed for the sake of being killed. Whatever's out there has proven that it's both capable and vicious, and so you can understand why I had to pin you to the ground yesterday. Right now, it's extremely dangerous to be running around and screaming into the night. I feel only a momentary desire to object, but I can't really argue with his reasoning, and he did apologize already. Right. We walk in silence a bit, and once again I'm feeling unsure of what to say. Out of the habit, I reach into my pocket and take out my phone, seeing my reflection in the black screen. I'm guessing houses with wiring and plugs aren't a thing here, are they? Bowers gives a bit of a tired huff. I've never heard of such things, so no. Damn. I pocket my phone again and let out a sigh. Ah, well, the internet was just a constant source of anxiety anyway. We finally break back through the tree line to another house. Whoa. This place is definitely nicer than Bowers. I step up to the fence and look at the sheer variety of plants growing in the little yard around the house. I reach out to touch a particularly beautiful flower and don't. A large hand takes hold of my shirt and pulls me away. What was that for? Those are dangerous plants that Hawk uses in his alchemical research. I look back to the foliage and question, feeling somewhere between confused and concern. So why is he growing dangerous plants out in the open like that? Let me clarify. The plant is harmless, but Hawk will have your hide if you mess with his reagents. Uh-huh. I look up at the house again and still can't quite make sense of something. So, aren't you the Alpha, the big special werewolf in charge around here? I wouldn't use those words exactly, but something like that. Why? So why are you in a nicer house? Oh, location, eh? My house faces the main road into the village, in the deepest part of the forest. If any threats come our way, I'll be first to know. Just so we're clear, kiddo, my role as a leader, a protector, not some special dignitary who gets the nicest house. Huh. Now you're done staring, come on. He leads me around to the front of the building and raps his large knuckles on the door. We both hear a whole lot of shuffling and moving around inside. One moment, more shuffling. Something that sounds like something hard falling on the floor, a bit crushing, and then, yes. Oh, it's you. It sure is. Hawk's eyes settle on me. He just openly stares. I can practically see the gears turning in his head. You buried those clothes for a reason, Bowers. And then I dug them back up for a reason. Are you going to invite us in or not? Hawk glowers a little, shakes his head, and stepping back inside, we follow. Oh, wow. This place is not child safe. Smells a little funky too, but in like a pleasant way. Like flowers are low and old cheese. I need to tend to Phoenix until I get back. The pair will glances and supplies. Back from where? There's been an attack on humans. People in Cohen are panicking, and Sal and Mara came out here to tell me the news. Hawk nods in understanding. And you escorted them back. I said it'd be more than 3 hours. You're taking at least Arjun with you, right? Take Arjun with you. If anyone's come with me, I prefer Fode. You know Fode is better at protecting the sire. Aside from that, I can already tell you're going to want to pack going to want a pack meeting when you get back. If you and folk go together, you'll have already decided on a plan and won't listen to anyone else's objections. Bowers puts his paws up defensively. Fine. I'll take Arjun if it will set you up. Hawk just smiles at the bigger wolf, clearly satisfied. I trust you will see to your human, the Phoenix's needs. Certainly. I won't even break a single one of his ribs. Bowers throws his arms up with exasperation. Oh, go boil your horse. He wrenches the door back open and steps out, calling back to us. And find him somewhere else to stay for the night. I want my bed back. Of course, sire. One story or two. Without turning around, Bowers makes a gesture with his arms and hands that I've never seen before, but I can tell it's definitely not a polite one. Hawk just chuckles to himself, closes the door. And hello again, Phoenix. Hello, Hawk. He really gave you his old clothes, eh? Yes, sir. There's a glint of something in the wolf's eyes, but he hardly skips a beat. Well, they suit you, at least. He gestures to the bed in the room. Since I have you here, I'd like to finally check on your injuries. Could you please lie down? Sir. On your bed, please. I'll take those. He takes my old clothes and goes around putting them away in the dresser. Meanwhile, I do as asked, settling myself down on a bed that's much more comfortable than Bowers's had been. A moment later, and Hawk stands over me. Again, I watch in disbelief as his tan fur hands glow a faint green, hovering over my chest, a prodding finger here and there. All right, good. You're healing a little wrong, but... Another few prods, and a moment later, a massive sensation hits me. I cover up my chest and groan out. I feel like I just got punched in the ribs. From the inside, apologies, Bowers really moved your bones around. But from here, you're responding better to the magic than before. You should be fully recovered by tomorrow morning. I'm still clutching my chest, rolling onto my side, curling into a fetal position. I take it this is the first time you've had a bone magically set. Yeah, kind of. Again, sorry, if I were a water sage, that would have been a lot more pleasant, but I'm kind of the only choice you got. Right. I wheezed the word out, to let myself uncurl, breathing slowly and deeply. Hawk takes a seat at his desk, putting his hands on his knees, sizing me up. So, you've been dumped on me, even though I'm severely behind on my duties. I'll admit that I'm a sight at entertaining guests, so I'll save us both the trouble of even trying. Mind, I've got about the 300 questions buzzing in my skull to ask you, but like Bowers said, I'll be respecting your privacy unless you feel like talking. You're also welcome to a nap, considering how you're still recovering and just spent the last few hours on your feet. He looks around clearly in thought. Beyond that, you could help me around with my practice if alchemy tickles your fancy. What, really? Bowers made it sound like I'd lose fingers if I touched any of your plants. And most days he'd be right, but I've got orders to fill and only 2 hands, so what it will be. I feel the bed beneath me, actually sore tempted to just roll over and pass out, but I don't think I could sleep through a chance to see another branch of magic, no matter how mundane. You know what, Sura? Hit me with all the chores you got. Well, look at you, contributing to our little village already. Alright, sit up and stub your hands. Yeah? I do as instructed and steady my hands, which he cups in his own from beneath. Again, there's a glow, but a deeper, richer hue of green than before, and I feel a strange, almost confident tingling in them. Whoa, what's that? It's a little trick to help you handle the samples more carefully. He reaches Next to his desk and grabs a pair of big wicker baskets, handing one to you before getting to his feet. Hawk takes a good while showing me around his garden, carefully explaining the process of pruning and collecting samples from each of the different specimens. He relegates me to gathering flowers, leaves, and berries while he delicately removes bark and root samples from some of the sturdier plants. The knife I've been given is already being used to make clean cuts, as Hawk was adamant that I shouldn't be pulling or twisting samples off. As we work, I can feel his eyes on me, but whenever I glance his way, he seems to be fully engrossed in his duties. The enchantment he casts on my hands is really impressive too. I feel like I'm moving with the dexterity of a surgeon. Hey, anything on your mind? Me? Lots of things. All the time, really. How do you mean? The wolf shrugs a bit, shoulder deep in a large bush, scraping a knife at its base. Bowers already told you. We don't pry, but we are very curious. You don't even smell like you belong here, and yet you made your way this deep into our lands without a single provision or you save for your keys and luck charms. While Bowers really had Hawk's number, something telling me this guy is itching to ask me questions. Part of me wonders if it wouldn't be so bad to tell him, but at the same time, I can feel myself having no interest in potentially getting dragged into all this champion business. Although not telling him feels like it's almost spitting in the face of his hospitality. Can you just give me another day or so? After I've had more time to adjust, I promise I'll tell you. I can see some of the tension the wolf shoulders let up, but I can tell he'd prefer some actual information. Thank you. Still, you picked a very strange time to arrive in our lands. Things lately have been problematic. Problematic how? Hawk again regards me with a rather concerned expression. The attacks outside our village. Oh, alright. Do you think animals and people getting slaughtered in the area was a common occurrence, or... No, sorry. I was just curious if there was anything besides that, I guess. Honestly, for all I know, those sorts of things could be common here, but I also don't want to sound like a complete asshole. But no occurrences other than just day-to-day joys of living in a village full of werewolves, where at least 3/4 of them were turned into dark, gruesome circumstances. I grimaced a bit internally. On that note, do you think you'd be ready to be properly introduced to your sire anytime soon? Huh? You're already the talk of the town. Lots of pups interested in seeing the mysterious human who showed up in her odd clothes. Well, shouldn't Bowers be the one introducing me? Hawk snorts, chuckling and shaking his head. Bowers is our Sal's alpha. Well, while it gives him a lot of authority, it doesn't make him the wolf who takes care of everything around here. And as you're not exactly his consort, you've already been welcomed into our town. Just say the word, and any of us will happily take you to the Howling Circle to meet most of the locals. Howling Circle. Hawk waves a hand dismissively. Village center where most events and trade happen. Besides, it would be best to have you not be a subject of local curiosity otherwise. Hawk stands up straight, looking in the distance, then tosses his knife into the basket with a frustrated grumble. Monty's bones. I do not need this right now. What? Speaking of the devil, see Dove appear. I watch as he waves in the direction he's facing, smiling warmly. I can't see what he's looking at as I'm on my knees working. Stay down. What? Stay down. His voice is hushed, but his face is still pleasant. Listen carefully. Astra's here. She's the kind of sea wolf you will ever meet, but she's an insatiable gossip. And unless you want her interpretation of your life scattered to the four winds, you better keep your answers short and polite. She's also very old and an exception to almost every rule on the side, so be aware that she will ask any and all manner of questions. Astrid, hello. Green Paws, I hope I find you here. I'm known for living at my house, ma'am. Astrid delivers a quick, painless backhand to Hawk's exposed tummy. You never went out stairs, do you? Living, please. Astrid, hello. Green Paws, I hope I find you here. I'm known for living at my house, ma'am. Astrid delivers a quick, painless backhand to Hawk's exposed tummy. You never went out sass, do you? Living, please. A wolf after my own heart. Now, I'm a stars. Though the wolf generally jumps back in surprise upon noticing me. So that's where the furthest had been. The what? Human, she means human. Now, Hawk, like I always say, we're all human deep down. Some of us are just fluffier than others. I know. And you better remember it. The little sea wolf turns to me and curtsies ever so slightly. Pleased to make your acquaintance, and you are? Phoenix Quill, ma'am. Delighted. She turns to Hawk and regards him with a bit of a conflicted expression. Well, this certainly puts me in a difficult crossroads. I thought you'd be by yourself out here. Crossroads. There's a bit of pressing matter that I need to talk to Hawk, but I don't want to upset our little visitor. Phoenix is of age, and in my care, unless this is the kind of matter that we need a midwife or something of that nature, I think he should be fine hearing it. Astrid seems to be considering her options for a moment, then just shrugs. So the thing is, I'm about to die. Oh, dear Monty, are you right? Are you bleeding? The sea wolf just raises a dismissive hand, keeping Hawk at arm's length. No, nothing so dire. It's just that, well, it's the strangest thing. Not too long after seeing you this morning, I felt it. The call. Hawk's body goes still at that, then wilts. Really? You're sure? Sure as I stand. It's just like they say. You just know. I see. I feel tension in the air, but at the same time, I again feel completely out of the loop. Excuse me. What's the call? Hawk glances my way and gives me a tired smile. It's something we can feel, like a result of our heightened senses, but when we are fortunate enough to pass from old age, death lets us know it's on its way to retrieve us. It's possible that death lets most people know, but you just can't sense it. Wow. Really? Wow. Cheese and crackers, you are bad at this. I stand there a bit awkwardly, sensing I really shouldn't be present for something so personal. I gesture to College. Should I leave you two alone? Astrid just gives a single wide laugh. Don't you worry about your dear little head. I'm just dying. Nothing special about that. It's as natural as the changing of the leaves. Only you would put it that way, Astrid. Come inside. Let's see what it is I can do for you. Always a gentleman. We make our way back inside, Hawk taking my basket from me and arranging a few chairs, having Astrid sit on his bed. So, you're dying. So I am. I must admit, I'm surprised you're here and not with the pups. If you know your time is very limited, why come to my college? Oh well, she sits up a bit more straight, like a proper lady. As inelegant as it may sound, I would ask that you help me buy a little bit more time before I move on. I got more loose ends to tie up than I'd like to admit, and I hate to leave too much of a mess for you to clean up after I go. I could hear an unsure sort of sound coming from Hawk's throat. You understand I'm only a sage. I don't work miracles. At best, I might be able to give you another day. That's being quite generous. Astrid nods. That should be perfectly fine. Hard takes a lot of breath in, then out. Well, no time like the present. I'll get to work and see where I can brew up. It should take a little while. Would you like to come back later or? I would actually prefer a chance to chat with present company if it's no bother. She looks at me and smiles warmly. Oh, none at all, I guess. Splendid. Hawk's eye flicked my way, an apologetic expression on his face before he moves out of the room, before he moves out of the main room into his kitchen. We watch him go, and Astrid just smiles at me a bit more. So my apologies for just getting to know you and then promptly dying on you. Terribly rude of me. I open my mouth, completely lost as to what to say to that. Astrid just cackles at my bewildered expression. Oh, poor lad. I kid. I try to laugh a bit as well, but it's just so odd. I'm talking to someone on death's door and she's just so calm. Ma'am? Yes? Would it be rude if I asked you a personal question? The old wolf chortles a bit to herself. It's not like I've got much time to hold it against you, if it was, anyway. Ask away, sweetie. My thoughts drift back to my life that's now sit behind me, not even a day away. Again, I can feel a familiar heavy sensation in my very core. Are you happy to be dying? The old sea wolf straightens herself up a bit before looking me squarely in the eyes. I need to answer your question with a question. First, tell me, young one, who is death to you? I can't help but hesitate. Death is freedom. Freedom from pain, struggle, weakness, everything. She nods slowly. You're not wrong. I've seen decades upon decades of everything. Might I ask, then, what is life to you? I can feel her eyes looking deep into my own, and I can't help but look away, not daring to answer. I see. I am happy to be dying, young one, because I am happy to have lived. Death has always been a welcome guest, and me and death have already passed each other by more times than I can count. But for one soul who has suffered to another, I look up, her eyes meeting mine, effortlessly seeing right through me. While pain can destroy a person, it also has the power to mold one's heart into its most beautiful shape. And it truly would be a shame to rob you of the chance to become the most wondrous self, wouldn't you say? I looked down, fiddling with my hands. Was I really that obvious? I can't look at her properly, not with the weight of her words settling so heavy on my chest. I'm glad Bowers and Hawk have welcomed you to our sire. They know what I'm talking about. I think they might be just what you need to make your heart bloom. Damn it, I can feel a lump forming in my throat. I'm not trying to steady my breath before I hear the kitchen door opens again. So I've got a few things that. The big wolf stops, taking in the scene before him. Am I interrupting something? Not at all, Hawk. The doubt on Hawk's face is apparent, but he keeps it to himself, setting a number of bottles on the desk. I take the shift in tone to quietly collect myself as he works. This is the best I could do with what I got. I still have enough dry Alba to get a new batch started today, though. Alba? Hawk disregards my interruption. 2 of these are topical, and I need to reach your skin with my hands either way. Is it alright if I apply them to your lower back? As long as I don't have to get off this bed, you can do whatever you want. She leans forward a bit, easing up the shawls cover her lower back. I can't see anything with her facing me, but Hawk sets to work on the other side of the bed. I look away, not inclined to watch a wolf on wolf massage. Could you do me a favor and look to the windowsill, Phoenix? I'm all too happy to oblige. See that flower? That's an arbor. Arbornox, specifically, also known as a dust lily or moonflower. The poets still call them lunar lilies. Well, that's because you taught them to. And they bloom under the moonlight, or if you can imagine them open, Hawk. Yes, ma'am. Hawk waves his arm in the direction of the windowsill, and just like that, oh wow. Lovely, are they? They're a very special flower. Yeah? Werewolves are resistant to almost all poisons, but also almost all medicines. But when alba is added, the body lets the medicine in so it can do its work. Though at the same time, it also means that it will let poisons take effect, so we're careful about how and when they're used. Huh. I regard the Lord's white bloom, again suddenly feeling the weight of my situation pressing down on me. My mind is reminding me that I'm a stranger here, not just in this house or community, but like in this entire world. But I heard of Camelot before. Did I travel through time? Is this another world, another dimension, another reality? I can feel myself seriously wanting to tell Hawk everything and ask a million questions about this world, but I was said not to, and I don't want to stress him out any more than he already is. The room was generally quiet, Hawk mumbling a few things here and there, before finally he straightens himself up. Oh, I answered. I think that's everything I can do. He moves to his desk and presents her with a few bottles, each filled with a rich, welcoming emerald liquid. Drink one of these at bedtime, one when you wake up and one at midday. If you're still with us after that, I still have more for you. Astrid pulls herself off the bed, straightening her back out. Goodness, Hawk, you're such a fine gentleman. If I had more worldly possessions to leave behind, I'd give them all to you. She laughs softly to herself at the rather dark statement. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a number of favors that call in. Hawk opens the door for her as she steps out, her thick tail weakly wagging side to side as he goes. He watches her depart, then turns to me, his presence once again quite professional. All right, let me pick us up some lunch for the Holland Circle. Then we've got a lot of work to do. You're still all right with helping? Yeah, sir, no problem. I'm left to my own thoughts for only a few minutes before Hawk returns with a root vegetable stir fry and fresh berry compote, the latter of which we eat on slices of a very crispy bread. After that, I end up playing apprentice to him for several hours. It's a lot of busy work, but it's all new to me, so I don't mind. Some components need to be dried. Some that have been dried need to be crumbled. Others need to be powdered. Hawk alternates between checking my work and tending to a bubbling, faintly glowing concoction brewing in a rather large stewing pot. As I work, I learn a few things about the alchemical process and how important the infusion of magic is to a potion and how it brings out the curative properties of the components. Hawk's command of magic looks so natural and effortless, like it's just an extension of his body. Time steadily marches on, and the sunlight soon glows yellow as dusk approaches. I wonder here and there what's taking Bauer so long, but Hawk expresses that there's nothing to worry about. That is until dusk really starts to settle in. And a deep, loud, powerful howl pierces the evening air. Hawk goes stock still, and then lets out a long huff of frustration. What was that? Emergency hall. I'm being called to meet with the pack leaders to discuss the attacks, I bet. He eases the stewing pot away from the kitchen fire. Thank Molly we just finished this. It still needs to cool and I need to bottle it. But there's no rush on that. Come on. He leads me to the front door, opening it for me to step out. Vic. I jump aside as a whole group of wolves, boys right in, panting hard and smelling of sweat and blood. They move straight for the bed, lowering a smaller werewolf onto it. He looks like he's been practically slashed to ribbons, his breath hoarse and ragged. Not needing in any direction, Hawk rushes to the side, paws hovering over him, glowing a vibrantly bright green again, setting to work. Arjan, get fresh water. Are you sure? Certain. Now. The charcoal gray wolf hurries back out of the hut, disappearing into the evening air. For a long moment, Bowers and the other wolves just watch Hawk work. How did Owen get separated from his packmate, Fold? I don't know. Vaughn said they were patrolling side by side, and Owen just disappeared. Was there any bad blood between them? No, they're both new recruits, but they've always had each other's backs. So why can't I smell? Can you both be quiet? A heavy silence follows, the steady thrum of Hawk's magic being the only real sound to be heard. Arjan returns soon after with a pail of water, which Bowers uses to fill a tanker, which he then offers to Hawk. The sage takes it with one paw, drinking it ravenously, then roughly drops it to the floor to focus both hands on his work. Brett Clothier, apply a good deal of pressure. He points to a particularly deep gasp across Owen's abdomen, and Fold immediately sets in motion, grabbing a cling rag, dunking it in the pail, and applying it to the open wound. Over the next 10 minutes, Hawk gives similar short instructions, but for the most part, silence reigns. Finally, heaving at the master's side, Hawk pulls his hands away, wriggling them with exhaustion. I'm done for now. You can remove the cloth. Fold does so, revealing bright pink flesh underneath, the wound closed but still quite raw. Owen's breathing has steadied, looking like he's resting peacefully. Hawk pulls himself up, grabbing a cloth Fold had been holding, wiping his hands on what unbloodied landscape remained. So we're all in agreement that this is dire. Unanimously. The scent on him is so faint, but it's the same as what he's been decimating the local fauna, isn't it? The exact same. We have to find and stop it as soon as possible. Both the Wolfsire and Cohen are in danger, and we can't afford to just wait for the next attack. I agree with. No. Fold's haunches rises instantly. No. You want us to keep. We are not charging into the dead of the forest in the middle of the night just to get picked off by some extremely dangerous beast that clearly has a grudge against things being alive. We are not going to jeopardize the defenses of the side during the hours when this thing hunts. No, Hawk, we have to act. People have already been killed, and if it weren't for you, Owen would have joined them. I agree with Hawk. Bowers and Foe wound on Arjan in an instant, but he holds his ground. Whatever this is, it's smart. This feels like a trap, like it's trying to lure us out, and split us up. I want to go after it too, but we don't even have a real scent to track. We have to be smarter than that, or I feel like we'll be playing right into its claws. And letting this threat stay on the loose is a better idea. Next, you're going to suggest we lure it out into the open with a plate of biscuits. Fold. The white wolf snarls briefly before going quiet. We are going to compromise. Our packs will be Our patrol 1 rotating 4 hour shifts through the night. Patrols keep to 5 at a minimum with 1 tracker per patrol. Arjun has a point. We have to get a solid scent before we can track and hunt whatever this thing is. And if it's still on the prowl, we're bound to catch whiff of it. Bowers turns to glare at Hawk. But the moment we do have a solid scent, we're going to launch a hunt and go after this thing with full force. The sage glares back at Bowers, but says nothing. But we have to coordinate. So is the furthest just going to sit in on the entire pack meeting? A hard chill goes up my spine as all 4 of these huge wolves turn to look at me. Oh, bugger all. Bowers closes the distance between us, resting a reassuring hand on my shoulder. The significant weight of his arm makes my knees buckle. Yeah, right, kiddo. I nod, feeling very out of place. So you had to see all that. As you might have noticed, pack meetings get intense. But it's just like I told you, when it rains. It pours, yeah. I gestured at Owen. Is he gonna be okay? Eventually, I'd love to explain this whole situation to your kiddo, but there's just not time. He straightens up and turns to the other wolves. Fold, would you? No. Bowers heaves a slow, heavy breath. Arjun, will you please find Phoenix here a place to stay for the night, somewhere close to Howland Circle? Only because you said please. Thank you. Arjun opened the door, gesturing out into the cold night air. Let's go, Tiny. I tried to say goodbye to Bowers or Hawk, but the law's hand on my back is being. The 2 of us walk in silence for over a minute, and I have to nearly jog to keep up with Arjun's longer stride. So, fellas, unless you're ready to answer some questions yourself, I'm not really in the mood to talk. Because even though I'm not nearly as paranoid as Fode, I'm not an idiot either. And the aura around you reeks of trouble. I feel myself recoil a bit internally. The day has certainly been a bit of a roller coaster. I feel like I keep getting it handed off to someone else so I can be their problem. But I really don't care for this persistent feeling of just being nothing more than another problem for the problem pile. Well, what do you want to know? Are you dangerous for starters? But I don't really see you being honest about that. I glance up at a nearly 8 foot tall wolf man who looks like he could crush my skull with one hand. I'm pretty sure if I even tried to be dangerous, you'd have my head off my shoulders before I could do anything. I notice the tension in Arjun's posture slip, but he doesn't say anything. Anything you want to ask that you can see me being honest about? Yeah, I think you could open up like this to Hawk and Bowers so they can give you the all clear. Because I got a long night ahead of me, and so I don't really have the time to get all chummy with the new guy. I go quiet again and we continue our brisk walk. We're here. And take a good look at what is clearly the largest, nicest house in town. Well, is this your place? No, this is the pup house. It used to be the orphanage, but we're a community now, so it's turned into a kind of everything place for kids. School, kitchen, rooms, whatever. Some of the pups who get adopted will still sleep here now and again so they don't get separated from their friends. I give Arjun a bit of an incredulous look. You're saying you don't trust me, but our father surrounded me with children? Yep, because I can promise you that if you try anything, those pups will know. They'll scrap it too. Now come on. Stepping inside, I have only a brief moment to get my bearings before I realize we've been noticed. Oh, John! Oh, one at a time, pet mates. First things first, though. This is Phoenix. Phoenix. Endor. The children giggle at that, and I can feel my face going a bit pink. He's going to be staying here tonight. I need you three to keep him safe while he's here. Make sure he doesn't get himself in any sticky situations, and come get me if anything funny happens, alright? The children all vigorously nod together. Arjun then looks to me and gestures to each of the pups in order. Furbert, these are Wild, South, and Ivy. You make sure to listen to them while you're here, and stay out of trouble like a good furless, okay? Juice. Sure then, Fort John. The kids squeal with laughter at that, and surprisingly, Arjun just rolls with it. Where's everybody else? Where's everyone else anyway? Still eating. We helped cook, so we didn't have to do any of the cleanup. Arjun? Ah, there she is. Arjun approaches the old sea wolf, taking her hand before bowing low and kissing it. Astrid just bats him away with a smirk. A bit late to be calling, but if you want something to eat, there should still be something in the kitchen. Alas, I will be working all night. I just came here to leave this one in your charge. Phoenix, this is Astrid, the pub house's matron, among other things. Oh, we already met. Arjun rolls his eyes a bit dramatically. Of course you have. You're a gossip monger. If you met, then it shouldn't be too much trouble to handle him for tonight. No. Bowles will be keeping us on patrol until dawn. It would be no trouble at all. Arjun claps his hands together once in pleased relief. Ah, you're a lifesaver as always. Before you go, though, there's something important I'd like to discuss with you. Could it wait, please? If I don't get back soon, Fold will have convinced Bowers to raid the entire force. Of course, dear heart. You take care now. Thank you again. And just like that, Arjun scurries right back out the door and into the evening air, but not before tousling the little pup's hair fur with a huge hand. Oh well. I look from the seaward to the door, then back to Astrid. Does he know? He shakes her head with a sigh. It's fine though. He knows I love him, and I think it might be better if I leave him a letter than make his evening more stressful than it already is. Arjun was always the best pup I had the fortune to raise. She gestures for me to follow her further into the house. Now come along, let's get some dinner in you. It's almost bedtime for the young ones. I'm treated to a bowl of chicken and vegetable soup that has been made with much more vegetable than chicken. The flavors are fairly simple compared to the other meals I've had so far, but then I remember that this food is for kids, and they're usually pretty picky about any fancy surprises. Afterwards, Ivy, Self, and Raoul drag me into a large bedroom with no bed, but rather just a thick, circular rug covered in cushions. It definitely smells a fair amount like dog in here, but like not exactly. I can't put my finger on how to describe it, but it's more welcoming and less like a kennel. This is our room. You get to stay with us tonight. Well, until Lisa gets scared and sneaks in. And then with William and Philip, I think I'll be sure to be a good guest. I'm just now remembering how terrible I am with children. So, where's the bed? Seth gestures at the rug and cushions. We sleep here. It's a big warm pile, but we've never done it with a furnace before. Yeah, you better be comfortable to sleep on, or we'll have to bite you and turn you into an extra fluffy werewolf. Holy shit, I forgot about the whole bite turning people into werewolves thing. I even have her just touch and rolls her eyes. Oh, Phil, we all know that only grown-up wolves that used to be furless can turn other furless. So you and Self don't even have a chance of doing that. Raoul huffs, clearly a little frustrated. Can't you ever just play along? The two start to descend into a row of bickering, but I'm distracted by a gentle tug at my pants. Are you going to stay here a long time, Phoenix? I looked down at the little pup's big eyes, and dropped to one knee like Arjun did. Well, I don't know. I just got here. There's a lot of new things here I've never seen before. Can you stay, please? If more furthers come and live in the Sire, maybe it can help other people not think we're dangerous. Do people here think you're dangerous? Seth nods in big, obvious up and down motions. Do you think we're dangerous? Well, this is a child's simple answers. Of course not. You're all very nice. Except for Raoul. He's a sticky furball. Yeah, well, I don't gotta worry about being nice when I become a pack leader. Only because your dad's one. Your dad, Arjun? Raoul juts out his chest and thumps it with a fist, looking proud. Even better, my dad is the super strong Frode. Only Bowers is stronger than him. I wish Arjun was my dad. I help out here just so Dad I'm not scared of hard work. Just then an idea hits me. Yeah? Think you three could help me out then? The three perked to attention, the interest peaked. Could you tell me more about this place, all the things outside of Wolfsire? What, like Ramp March? Is that where we are? Raoul rolls his eyes extra dramatically. Of course we are, dummy. Ramp March is the kingdom. It's not as big as Avalon, but it's safe for us here. I feel like I've heard that name before. Yeah, what's Avalon like? Hello, Avalon, the kingdom of Camelot? Right, and how close are we to Avalon? The grown-ups say you can get there in a few weeks on foot. Only if you are furless and take forever to walk anywhere. Where do you come from? Me? I even now I'll remember that there's no privacy when it comes to children. You know what? I'm gonna have to explain this at some point anyway. I come from a place very, very far away. The Northhold? Farther. The Salt Isles? Way farther. So then how did you get here? I swear. You know what? I think it might have been magic. And like that, the three are instantly captivated. You can do magic, can we see? I swear, another idea coming to my head. I reached into my pocket and turned my phone on without looking. Well, I can do a little magic, just illusion stuff. I don't think it would interest you guys. Oh, come on, please. I believe it when I see it. I pull out my phone, unlocking it, and showing them the brightly lit home screen. Whoa. I flick on the flashlight function, shining it around the room, watching them track the light with awe. Ivy swiping at it when I swing it back past them. How are you doing that? His hands aren't even glowing. Can you do anything else? I quickly open my music app, choosing a song at random, and letting it play. The three go dead quiet as music starts to play, looking wide-eyed at one another. Seth even covers his mouth as if speaking would break the spell. Less than a minute into the song, there's a knock on the door, and I quickly silence my phone and stuff it into the back of my pocket. Alright, Puss, lights out. Our guest needs us to sleep. I check my phone clock when I turn it on. It's not even 9 p.m. Did people just go to sleep when it got dark before electric lighting? Begrudgingly, but obediently, the pups blow out the small number of candles in the room, or the light of the moon coming in through the windows. Sleep well, sweet ones. This rug is actually more comfortable than I thought, especially with three very snuggly, furry kids all curled up against my sides. That part is definitely a little too weird for me. Then again, it's not like I have any other options. As I lay there, my thoughts drift back to the pack meeting and to what Sal said. Something's bothering me about all that. Didn't he say that the coach was attacked by a werewolf? Why didn't Bowers bring up? Why didn't Bowers bring that up with the others? Shouldn't they know, or is there a reason they shouldn't know? I tried to puzzle out what's really going on here, but I feel a lot more tired than I thought I'd be. I hear the sound of howling in the distance, and something deep inside me screaming. And something deep inside me seems to resonate with it. I hope. I hope everyone's okay. Chapter 1 in. Hey humans, this is our first time releasing Chapter 1 for one of our games. It's been 3 years. So take that in. I'm sorry if I didn't exceed the expectations of early access for a week or two. I've been doing a lot from the side of my IRL and family. It was originally planned for last Thursday. I'm sorry if I didn't update you all about the game lately from Patreon. I'm grateful for my team and people's feedback about certain issues in the game. I'm glad that we made Chapter 1 from one of our games. Hopefully moving forward things will be more active this time. I'll do my best to stay active on Patreon going forward. Me praying for less stuff to do on IRL's favors from others. I'm Wilmies Rocco, or Wilmies X Rocco, a programmer and UI artist. I'd love to thank the invaluable teammates who've contributed to this game. You can look them up or click their names. Crispy Whites as creator writer of this game. Velsky as co-writer, background artist, character artist, CG artist, UI. And Dodoki as an assistant writer, copy editor. I want to give a special shout out to Drakita, who works on Sylvan with Dodoki, made a title card for us. We really appreciate your support to make our game even better. I can give another one for Dodoki to make it happen and to improve our game even more. And to the thousand thank yous to our followers and Patreon supporters. You guys mean the world to us. Other than that, Patreon followers will have access to early builds, behind the scenes content, and be the first to be updated on all our projects. Follow our Twitter, Bluesky, and Patreon for any updates of Under the Full Black Moon or our other projects. You can also follow my Twitter page, Vortex Progression, or my thoughts on the game. Thank you for playing and supporting us. We can't wait to share more content with y'all. Until then, see you later, humans. That was Chapter 1, the full Chapter 1 for Under the Full Black Moon. Now, the very first video I've done on the game, and this new update, those two together is Chapter 1. So, the creator of Sylvan also works on this, also helps out in this game. So we already play Sylvan. It's on the channel if you want to look at that. That's another game we do. Alright, so those kids were very nice. They certainly don't want Phoenix, I think his name is. They certainly don't want Phoenix to leave, even though there's mayhem. So I really enjoy the kids. And I think one of them, I think the white one is the son of the White Wolf warrior that we saw, Frode. So this is the first time where we got to end up dealing with someone who is not so friendly at all. Because, what's his name? I forgot. The mage, he was friendly. And while he was a little bit suspicious of us, Bowers did become nice. He was nice and try to keep us safe. But this warrior that Bowers had take Phoenix, that warrior that Bowers ordered to take us to the house, well, asked to take us to the house. He was very hostile. He was very concerned about whether the MC Phoenix would cause any harm to the village, and he kind of like just threw a bunch of insults at him. Kind of like it when Phoenix decided to insult him back, and that drew a laugh from the kids. Kind of like the MC, standing up for himself. So, I mean, his name Arjan. I mean, he certainly looks way more dangerous than Phoenix is. I mean, almost 8 feet tall, fully armed, muscle-bound wolf with paws big enough to smash your head to a grapefruit. I mean, there's really nothing Phoenix can do to you. So, if you watch the first demo, I mean, there was actually a demo before the demo. I mean, like, there was the first story, and then the creator rewrote the story completely in, but there's like I think about months before the first update came out. This is like a different story, but that White Wolf Warrior was originally in the first iteration, well, in the first version of the story. Like when the first update came out, he was like, I think one of the first people we saw, and he was very hostile towards the MC. But when they rewrote the story and it came out in January this year, or December last year, I think, we didn't see him at all. And it wasn't until this second update that we actually get to see him. And he didn't have any conversation with the human. He all he was focused on was reporting about these monsters in the forest. So I think a lot of people had complained about the way the MC was in the original story, because he was very rude and bratty and just insulted Bowers. But in this update, he's more mature, more calm, more mature, and just, it's shocking, but he's more composed and just more polite. So there's something going on in the forest, and it's becoming dangerous for the people here, the werewolves. And those two warriors, Arjan and the white one, they're going to be doing patrols to deal with it. So I hope nothing bad happens to any of them, even Arjan. We'll have to see what happens. And I hope that we don't have to wait a year for a new update to come out. I understand there's some stuff comes up, family and stuff like that. But hopefully, it won't be quite as long. Because you know what, I'm really liking the story so far. I'm eager to see what happens next. So, hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.